I'm going to talk about my chairs today. This isn't a specs video, this is more the chairs that I've got and I own about seating position and how comfortable they are for me. I'm going to start with the chair that I regret buying, not because there's anything wrong with it, it's because I wish I'd spent a bit more money and bought a different brand. This is the iClimb ground chair. It's served me well so far. I've really enjoyed using it, but it's a bit of a faff to put together. It comes like this. There's the main body of the chair, which kind of assembles itself. I bought this for a specific reason, and that was so that I could put it up in a tent if I needed to, and for that it's worked really well because it's much lower, it's got a much lower profile. Let's put that on there. The reason I regret it is because I wish I'd have spent the money on the Helinox ground chair, because that one just unclips and you're good to go. With this one, you get it all organised and you've got an additional strap which goes under there, holds everything together, which is good, but it's an additional step I could do without. And then you just wrap it back on itself, and this all takes a bit of time. I can't really be bothered with it, to be honest, so I spent probably a third of the money as what I would have spent on the Helinox. And so for the price I paid for it, I don't have any issues, but I wish I'd have spent the extra and bought the Helinox. You can see from this that I've got a nice bucket seat to sit in. The back is well supported. It's a bit, I'm on a little tiny bit of a slope here. If you're on any kind of slope at all, it becomes reasonably unstable. So you just have to plant your feet out a bit wider. And the thing I like about this is that I can put it in a tent, and it's like a two-man tent I take out with me. I can push everything in the tent, the sleeping mat and everything off to one side, and then I can sit inside the tent if it's raining, and I've got about this much headroom, and then it's far more relaxing than just trying to be sat on the ground. There's a nice bit of comfort in this. It's the same comfort you get out of a larger chair, much higher chair. So that's a good thing. As I said, you're well supported. You can sit, read a book, scroll on your phone or your iPad or whatever, and it works really well. Where it doesn't work particularly well, so I've got the other part of the camera there, I'll move them out of the way. Where it doesn't work particularly well is when you want to get out of it. This is called a ground chair for a reason. There's a certain way to do this. You can either go straight up and out, which I can't because I haven't got that energy, or you do this. You've got your side on, and then up you go and away. A really good thing about this chair is that it's got wide feet underneath and you've got this bar. So if you're sat on muddy conditions, or if you're sat inside your tent and it's been raining and it's soft underneath, this doesn't sink in too much. This doesn't sink in at all, and because you've got a large surface area there, it's pretty good. So it's quite stable and it doesn't sink into the ground at all, which is perfect for the likes of me. It's got, oh, one more thing about these. these feet. If you're inside a tent, what you need to be mindful of is, are you going to damage the base at all? So if you've got anything to put underneath, I'd say a bit of foam matting or anything at all, much better to sit this on the foam matting to protect the base of your tent, depending on how you're feeling about it and how delicate your tent is. Generally, the more expensive you buy a tent, the ground base underneath the floor is usually a lot thinner, isn't it? So you've got more chance of rips and tears. The thing I don't like about this is this little pocket here. In theory, it's a good idea, but in practice, as soon as you put a cup or something in there, say a can, you stand up, the whole thing tips over. So overall, for the money I paid, I've got no regrets about buying this little chair. If something happened to this, would I buy it again? And the answer is no, I wouldn't. I would buy something much lighter, like the Helinox Chair One, something that just opens up and the whole structure goes together as one, rather than having the extra part underneath, the extra steps of putting all this together. Helinox Chair One. I've had this for over 10 years. I've taken this cycle camping, I've taken it all over the place, camping, you name it, it's come with me. Backpacking, it comes with me as well. There's a big argument for, is the weight worth it, the extra weight to carry a chair? And for me, it's a yes. I'm not getting any younger and I like my comfort. It's so much nicer being sat in this than it is being sat up against a tree or stood around and being a bit awkward, trying to think, oh, where am I going to sit? What am I going to do? Now this has served me well. I need to show you this a minute. You probably can't see it very well from there, but the elastic is not as good as it used to be. You can see we've got a bit of danglage there. So the bungee elastic on there, he's stretched inside, so it doesn't go together as nice as he used to, and in turn that makes him creak around a bit. But considering I've been cycle backpacking, you know, the usual thing, he's had a lot of use. I've got no complaints at all, and if this broke, would I buy one again? Absolutely. Easy to put together, got a lot of comfort, a lot of back support. The only thing I would say about these, I'll take that off, is the original legs that came with them. If you're going anywhere, ground's a bit soft, these sink into the ground for a pastime. And that's my only complaint with this, apart from the price. It cost me about £100, I think, at the time, and that was well over 10 years ago. But have I had value for money? Yes, I have. So now there's a lot of competition. Would most of you go out and spend £100 when you can spend 30 or 40? Probably not. I digressed a bit there. These legs, far too narrow for taking out any damp bit of ground. All of a sudden you go, and you've probably done it yourself if you've got something similar. You start with that, you sit on it, and 5 minutes later your arse is almost touching the ground. So I bought these. These are made by Robbins, and these are absolutely brilliant for this particular type of foot. You just click it in, they've got a bit of movement on them, and then when you put them on the ground, I've never sunk into the ground with these on. They're absolutely brilliant. Comfort wise, absolutely beautiful. This is more of a loungy, slouchy sort of feel. you're not bolt upright. You've got this relaxed kind of feel going on with it. And I found these to be really comfortable. Width wise, what am I, about 100 kilos? Well under 6 foot. So if you're much wider than me, you might find that there's a bit of an issue with rubbing on the side of the legs. But for me, I found this to be brilliant. Got no issues, it's nice and stable, lots of support, easy to get in and out of, and I've really got no complaints. The moment I sat in this in the shop, and it was in Blacks in Bristol by the Bullring when it used to be Blacks many years ago, and I was going off on a big cycling trip, and this is InfoZhed. And I just saw one of these in the window one day as I was passing, and it was the first time I'd ever seen one of these. And I looked at it and I thought, I've got to try that. So I went in, sat on it, and then I bought it straight away, and I bought her one as well for when we went cycle backpacking, and we got no regrets whatsoever. Comfort wise, 10 out of 10. Stability wise, 10 out of 10. I just can't fault it. The material over time, it hasn't stretched, it hasn't gone all saggy. What the quality of for the equivalent now is, I don't know. But all I can say is from when I bought this back in the day, it's just lasted so well. And I'm sure, apart from a bit of movement, a bit of squeaking where the bungee's stretched, then I'm sure this is going to last a long, long time. It's a lovely, comfortable position. And now for the new kid on the block, Naturehike YL01. I bought this as a car camping chair because it's too heavy, in my opinion, to be carrying around in a backpack or on a bicycle. And the thing I liked about this was, I saw really good reviews online, and its party piece is that it pretty much just self-assembles in a second, and you open it up and your base is done. The legs that came with him, I need to talk about these. The legs, rather the feet that came with this, they're like that. So on there, what you're going to do, you're going to sink into the ground with these because they're quite narrow. So what I did, and you'll see the reason for the tape on there, I bought a set of really wide feet for him on Amazon, and because this is a different shape to this, taking the feet off, I went in with some tape, 6 wraps around there. This is supposed to be the correct size for this, by the way, but it's not. This is a shade bigger, so to take up the space, wrap some insulation tape around, ram that on, and then we got the 4 feet, which you just click on the bottom. I made a mistake when I bought these because I set it all up, put it all together. I thought that's absolutely brilliant. I've got wide, stable feet, so when I sit on it, clearly I'm not going to sink into the ground or go anywhere. But the issue I had, this is where I messed up, so I hope you learn from this. The issue I had was when you do that, you go put it back together and you fold the feet in, it doesn't pack down. So, so I messed up big style. So the only way to get the legs back down is to pull these off. So I hope you don't make that mistake, or if you do go to buy this style of feet, you know what you're getting yourself into. Where was I? That opens out, locks together, that tab there, nice and secure. so he's locked in. So you push that out, and then that's how you collapse him down. So I love the sturdiness of this. The chair itself, you can see they've stolen the idea from Helinox. They was the first, as far as I'm aware, to make this style of chair. Then put him together, and there you go. You can see from this already, he's a much more upright kind of chair. It's more of a bucket in there. I'll show you now. There's a completely different feeling being sat in this chair because you're a lot more upright. You can't slouch at all. It's very difficult to do that. So you're more sat in an armchair, should we say. You're more upright, more of a desk sort of chair vibe. It's the only way I can think of describing it. Got lots of support. Again, there's a nice bucket underneath supporting me. Seems to be a bit wider at the back here. But having said that, these here, the way it's designed, if you've got really wide legs, you've got chunky legs, you're a big muscly person, you're carrying a bit more timber than I am on your legs, you might find that these front bits of the chair kind of dig in a bit and it won't be as comfortable. But for me, it's absolutely fine. Hopefully this will give you a good idea of the 3 different seating positions of the 3 chairs. We've got the Naturehike, which is the most upright. The Helinox, which is the most relaxed, I would say. More of a lounge type sort of chair. And we've got the ground chair style, which is pretty much like the Helinox lounge sort of vibe to it. But obviously your legs are much higher because you're closer to the ground. It's still a comfy chair. And just to give you an idea of what they're like from the front, I've got the Naturehike. You can see how high I am. And then we've got the Helinox, more relaxed sort of style. And then we've got the ground chair, the hardest one to get in and out of. But this is just as comfortable as this is style-wise, seating-wise. So if you're new to camping chairs or you're in the market for a new one, maybe a slightly different style, hopefully this has helped.